Hello ladies and gents to No Drama Just Movies Rapid Reviews. So I watched A Big Bold Beautiful Journey recently and I had some thoughts. Right off the bat, I have to say that this is not the kind of film I usually watch. I mainly gave this a chance because it was available and because the synopsis was intriguing. And yes, I was positively surprised. The movie had a refreshing angle that spoke to me. The main couple's problem wasn't that he was too poor for her, or that she had to move to Chicago to start a new job, or that one was a vampire and the other a werewolf. Oh my god, which abs will she pick? It was more about their own trauma and their emotional and romantic baggage. They themselves stood in their way. Is this what romantic movies are nowadays? 'Cause more like that, please. Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie were absolutely captivating. Truth be told, this could have been a slow and boring film, and I've seen some people call it that, because all they do is drive around, walk through a door, then drive around some more. That part is repetitive, but Farrell and Robbie make it work. Allow me a little tangent here, but I noticed that Colin Farrell is a very emotive actor in this. You can see every thought shift in his face and his eyes, whereas Margot Robbie was more controlled, holding the thoughts in her expression, which is a skill in itself, I feel. But it gave David a more nervous energy, whereas Sarah seemed more grounded. So at least subconsciously, that gave the two a very interesting dynamic. I loved the hold your breath scene between them in the car, which showed off their fun chemistry. And I loved the meet the parents scenes for each one. Those really got to me. Beautiful, if heavier moments in this light road trip. One of the secret casting weapons is Hamish Linklater. I loved him in Mike Flanagan's Midnight Mass, and here he delivers a beautiful performance as well, for example in the hospital scene when he talks to David. I actually liked Kevin Kline and Phoebe Waller-Bridge as well. Granted, I could see how the silliness could be a little annoying to some people, but it worked for me. They reminded me of the Gravediggers and Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet, someone who comes in to be funny for a minute and then is heard no more. But it also added a surrealness to the film, which worked well to set up the rest of the story. There's something otherworldly about these two characters and the sparse setting, almost as if the whole company and staff exist only for this one moment, and then are heard no more. The theatre part with David connected with me as well, and David became my spirit animal in that moment. He knew that the girl he had a crush on would reject him, and yet he asked her again, hoping for a better outcome. This blind hope in the face of cruel established fact, this relentless trying despite the odds being against him. I love the scene in the restaurant with their former partners. Seeing the worst of each other while also exploring what their own problem is was an important part of this movie. And it drove home what I was watching and what I think the movie was trying to say. Overall, you could easily accuse this movie of being slow and dragging along, being boring because nothing really happens. But I think that's because this is a very internal journey, and the driving around and the doors are really just a vehicle. But this is about David and Sarah learning to overcome their trauma, learning more about themselves and about each other. So when David later tells Sarah that he loves her, it makes sense, because he has seen the best and worst of her, and he has dealt with his own issues that have kept him from holding on to his partners. I don't think the point is happily ever after, though. I don't know if David and Sarah will eventually get married and make their relationship work. For me, the point was to try. You have all these things working against you, the regrets of the past, fear of the future. But you shouldn't let that stop you from giving love a chance. Maybe the relationship is only going to last a year, but maybe it will be a wonderful year, full of moments that you can cherish forever. You need to believe in love through the trauma. Get over that part first, then learn to take a chance on people. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find something that lasts. And that's all. Roll credits.